Alrighty. What is going on, Roller World? Welcome back to the RDN Roller Show. We got a pretty fire podcast today. I'm not gonna lie. One of the pretty excited for this one. We've been planning it for I'd say about a month trying to get these boys on. But first we're gonna go over to the East Coast where Anth remains, see how he's doing, and then we're gonna get into it.
Surprised you didn't mention the Dahmer basement again, but
Nah, I'm over that,
I,
man.
I
That's
think people know. People know
yeah.
that I have a weird office, but yeah, just humming along here, getting baby ready, getting our leagues all tied up. I know you guys have Pi coming up, right? You're in your last couple weekends, so just
Yep.
kind of focus in. I know we have a couple teams from Philly specifically going out there in the semi-pro division, and then Sting made it out here from the pro division. So I know that's next weekend, right? So
Yeah, I believe it's like the
here
7th or the 8th through like the
8th
ninth
through
or
10th.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, something
seven
like
game
that. So,
series.
are you guys
Uh,
done? Like, or
so
do you still have games?
Yeah, so Demon Dogs, we play this weekend against the winner of the 2 and 3. We took first seed in the West. So we'll play Sunday, 3 game series, whoever wins versus Thunder and Blizzard. So
Nice.
that'll be a pretty big battle. They'll probably those two teams are probably gonna, beat the hell out of each other that night. That's
That's beneficial for you.
yeah, but it's
That Thunder team doesn't play a soft soft game. They play pretty heavy games. So
yeah, they do. They're a hard coming team. So that was fucking weird to say.
yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, Pi this weekend. Whoever wins, play Sting. So we played Sting last year in that 7 game series. Probably, I mean, I'm not just being
epic.
selfish. Probably the best 7 game series in Pi history.
Yeah. All,
Pretty unbelievable.
all my boys from out here who were watching, like from the semi pro teams, they said it was just like sick to watch. And I think that rink has like a cool like
It's
viewing. Like,
unbelievable.
yeah, they
Stadium
have like
seating, bar up
yeah,
top.
sick.
I mean, you walk outside,
So
you see Pikes Peak. How can you beat it?
yeah, I mean, you give credit where credit's due. They do a good job at hosting that last event in general, with making sure that there's music, pictures, all that kind of stuff, right? So, but yeah, I remember that, just I remember following it, right? Just that whole weekend. And I was like, all right, they came back 3-1. Oh, they came back 3-2. Oh, shit, the series is tied 3-3. Oh, wait, they're down in this game. Oh, wait, they came back in this game. Oh, wait, they won. It was just like, the emotions were just like a roller coaster, you know what I
So,
mean? And I can
yeah.
imagine being on the team, because I know a lot of the guys from playing with them during the Mile High, but like you guys had an epic series, so hopefully you guys get to kind of repeat that and play them again, and then try to keep keep the Founders Cup championship out in the Midwest. You can
Yeah.
yourself in the Midwest.
Yeah, out in the West.
Yeah,
Well, by the time this is out, we're gonna know we're gonna know that answer. So this will be,
yeah,
people are probably listening to this on Monday. This is Friday, so they're probably gonna know that answer.
big podcast guys here,
Yeah. Well, we had to do an interview with the boys, so we figured we'll do the pre right now. Anyways, moving on. So just some roll around the world weekend recap of some things. Palma beat OC Blades at the Winter Wars West out in Irvine, California. Palma's women's team also won the women's division too. They won an OT against the Ringster team. Lindenwood wins D1 regionals. No surprise there. I think they're like 16-0 now in
yeah.
college this season in college. And then we had Molina, 2 guys that we're going to be bringing on the pod. I think pretty we can
Obvious.
announce it now.
Yeah.
We got Chucky Baldwin and we got Kevin Mooney coming on the pod today. So out in the Liga Elite, out in the Spain Pro League, your 2 top teams, Molina and CPLV. That's who Jimmy Teed plays with them. And then you have Mooney, you have Baldwin on that Molina team. So they won 4-2 over the weekend, which they're tied in the standings of points, but I think they have the advantage since they won. So, and then moving on to 2 more news in the NCRHA, Maryville wins D3 regional, and CU representing Colorado, they
There you
win
go.
D3 SCHL regional. So I think they punched
The
their ticket
mouthful.
to nationals. I'm assuming from that.
Yeah, they I was looking at the picture that was posted from like I guess their Instagram account. Pretty cool. I didn't know CU even had like a college roller team.
Yeah, huge shout out to Joe Oria. He deserves a huge shout out. He runs the Lakewood Fire. Guy
I was just
does,
gonna
I
say
mean,
that. Yep.
yeah, he does a lot of stuff. But Joe Oria, he runs that CU program. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he ran the DU program as well too, or helped run it. But he's from actually NorCal. I believe he moved out here a couple years ago for college. But yeah,
Yeah,
he helps run that. So good,
yeah,
great
he's a
guy.
beauty. Yeah, I've worked with him on the Pi Ha side of things when I was helping with them, and then obviously with the Mile High Showdown, he had 2 teams in there, I believe. So,
Yeah,
yeah, he's a good guy, and now he's got that program as well. So it's pretty sweet that he's staying involved, for Colorado Roller.
absolutely. College hockey jerseys, they're sick. I think like
Those jerseys
there's
are
so
sick.
many that are actually like just so nasty. And I know College Roller, the Instagram account, they do a really good job, sharing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you like actually like see a team and you're like, oh, like I didn't like, like Slippery Rock or just some random team, you're like, oh, they actually have some pretty nice nasty
Well,
jerseys.
the one thing that I think college, I know they have some like weird things that they do, like the College Roller League, but they are pretty strict on like the jerseys, matching, like they try to be as strict as they can with the pants, jerseys, helmets, whatever it may be, which makes it look better optically, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're watching a game, it makes it look so much better when everyone's got the same jersey on, helmet stickers, whatever it may be, all those little things that kind of just make it a little more professional, a little more organized. I will say, and CRHA in general is sticklers with that, and for a good thing. I'm saying that in a good way.
Yeah.
You're not showing up with a goalie with an inside out jersey. Like that sucks. It just looks crappy. So, but I thought the CU jerseys were actually pretty nasty. Like just seeing it over the weekend. So goalie had like matching pads and shit. So it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Another couple of things. I know Team USA, uh, just Team USA in general, juniors, men's, women's. The applications are out now too, so you're going to be
Yeah.
able to find that on the USAR's website and everything. And they're also doing a camp too, right? It's the
Yeah.
national. I mean, if you want to speak on that real quick too,
Yeah.
I know
So
we're
they're
going to
gonna be.
talk to, we're going to have. We're going to get Darren on the pod and we're going to get Tim too. We're going to talk about the senior men's, junior men's as well too.
Yeah.
So we're going to get way more into detail. We don't really want to get into detail like too much right now about it.
Yeah.
But just give like a gist of what's
Yeah.
going on that weekend. That's it.
So the out in California, Darren and Dan Maxwell are gonna be running basically like an ID skate, which a lot of people who play ice hockey know what ID skates are, right? You're identifying players that could potentially play on the junior men's team. And Tim is going to be doing a lot of that through his State Wars tryouts too, just identifying players that could be potential players, not just guys and men and women who are at that age group right now. I think the whole idea is to ID them earlier than that as well, so you can keep them in the system, kind of keep them in the network. So as they get to that age group that they can start participating in, you already have like kind of a handful of people who are, either A, qualified, or B, super interested in doing it. I know that they're actually going to be extending the senior men's application to March 20th. So if you're listening and you're interested in playing on the senior men's team, which, we talk about all the time, it's going to be a tough egg to crack, right? So
I have one case. I think one person that should get a case, and I really hope that like there's some type of camp or something that would be really sick.
yeah,
But we posted the video the other day of John. Dude, John's
workhorse.
unbelievable. I know he
He's just a
played. I think it was
workhorse, dude.
double IHF, right?
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, played pro ice too. Like he's got that
Yeah,
ice
but
motor,
I
but
mean,
in a roller
it
hockey
would.
world.
Yeah, dude, he's so sick to watch, and he comes at you at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah,
Forecheck, back check, paycheck. The guy
paycheck.
does it. He does it
Out
all.
the perfect example was a couple years ago. It was a Narch regional, but it was like during COVID, so like the teams were pretty good in the pro division. I was with the Roadrunners. He had a goal against us, and he literally tried a Michigan, failed on the Michigan, beat like 2 players off the puck, came in and scored. Like that is his game in a nutshell. Like that shift was like his game in a nutshell, which he does. He just works his bag off. Like
Mhm.
every one of his goals, like he does have snipes and stuff, but like most of his goals are like him like taking the puck off a guy or two, beating a guy or two, and then scoring.
Do you
Like
imagine Billy Pascali and
and him
John
together.
John coming at you at
That's
a
like the rat
forecheck?
line. That is the rat line right there.
Good luck. Like
Yeah, that is a
that
rat
forecheck
line.
is insane.
Well,
But that's
because
just one. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say they kind of do the same thing where like you kind of like even if you like loop on them and you think you beat them, they come behind you with that little stick lift. You don't
Yeah,
even hear
that's
them. They're
like
like,
their game.
yeah, it's
You think
crazy.
you're around them, but the stick check's just right there.
Yeah, it's nuts. So that's a really good point. But I know that like even with the senior women, we talked about in the last podcast a little bit. I think they're going to be a lot better. And they're always really good. They're always at the top of the top of the standings. They're won how many golds in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be even better because I think one of the things that I forgot to kind of mention talking about the senior women is that Rob Chernima is on the board, right, for Team USA. So I think he's going to be that bridge that brings, the kind of Rinkster and Rinkrat factory team and the Palma girls together to kind of, mesh them in and allow them to be the best team that they could be. Right. So,
Yeah.
again, we talk about it all the time. It always comes down to availability and stuff like that too. So, but I think with him and Shane Arsenal, I think that's going to help out because they're the two best women teams, right? You have the Rinkrat Factory team and you have the Palma team. And obviously there's going to be other girls that have opportunities in there as well. But I think that team's going to be probably as the best it's been in a couple years for sure.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. But yeah, the Team USA coaching staff, head to toe, every single team, they're stacked. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And obviously we're homering right now just because we are, we are from here, but hopefully be cool to see Canada's coaching staff or, other people's coaching staff. But I know Canada's, we got to get somebody on here from the Canada roller just kind of figure out what's going on. Cause usually you don't hear much info, and we're not like dogging on Canada right now, but you just don't hear who it is until maybe a week or two before the tournament.
Yeah.
But then again, Canada's heavy ice based, so it's different.
We've been waiting for someone from Canada for a while.
I know we got a couple. We got.
But we want to understand what's going on with the whole scene, because there's a couple different groups in there. It seems like, you know what I mean? There's kind of maybe like a little bit of a break between the two groups. So it'd be nice to fully understand, and maybe from both sides, right, of the fence. Like, hey, we're what's going on?
Canada has all-stars, Jimmy T, you have Dylan Abamont, Foster, Thomas Woods. They have, Connor Bedard, Kent Johnson, obviously advocates that play roller all over the world. And someone hasn't taken advantage of spreading Canadian, the Canadian Inline Hockey Organization. I know there's Canada Roller Hockey Group. They do a great job on Instagram. I don't believe that's has to do though with the Canada.
Right.
They do a great job. Canada does an unreal job at hosting, their players and everything. I just don't know how I haven't taken the next level. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, even at the last World Games, they're not a team or World Skate Games.
Lane Hartwell and Jimmy T, two of the best goalies in pro, and you should be using them full to advantage of that's Canada. That's Team Canada goalies.
Canada pride, baby.
Canada, yeah, exactly.
But it'll be interesting because a couple years ago, if you remember when they did the World Skate Games in Italy, they were a pretty stacked roster and they played Czech in the finals, right? Uh-huh. And then since then, it kind of hasn't been the same. So, like I said, they have enough talent there. It's just getting everyone together, right? Sometimes it is a political, just like in ice hockey and everything, right? There's always politics that are involved in it. So it's kind of just figuring out.
Dude, we have politics involved here at Roller Dad News as well, too.
Yeah, we got tons of politics. Yeah, let me tell you. Just me and you butting heads never. But
yeah. So let me ask you a question before we head on to the interview.
Yeah.
What wheels are you rocking right now?
So I have we'll just call them the pinkies right now.
Okay.
The pink Lebedas. Yeah. So I actually one night, kind of funny story. I was a little bit sauced up after a wedding and I was texting Rob, because they're trying to think of.
Hold on, time out. Why are you sauced up after a wedding texting Rob?
Because I don't know what, dude. I don't know. Roller dad at heart. I don't know, but I was just texting him.
Dude, I love Lebeda slime so much.
No, I was trying to come up with names for the new wheel because I think they were trying to come up with a name for it. But I saw Hawkins put on their pinkies, and I kind of like that, honestly. Yeah. So that's what I'm calling them for now. But I've been rocking those. I know they're going through a lot of R&D. They put the post up a couple weeks or last week about, getting closer and closer to that release date. So I've been using those ever since Palmer Pro this year. So I got, so I've been using those and we did the interview with Rob and talked about the technology behind it. And I just love them now. I've gotten so used to them. not that I've tried skating on any other wheel since, but I feel like it would be hard for me to go back to another wheel because I'm so used to these wheels at this point. So
yeah,
I know
I got to try those.
You were trying the rink rats, and
did you drunk text Rob for me and see if I can get some?
I get a set. I'll listen. Scott Beta told me anything we need, we just got to ask him. So
hey, I hear that. I'm I love trying different wheels. I've used Connex for a long time. That's kind of what I've a hard at. I do love Lebedas. I love Lebedas. I'll use Lebedas as well too, and I love Connexes. I've just used those. And then, like I said, Rink Rat sent me some wheels and the new
Yeah.
Tricksters. Dude, I can't go wrong with wheels. They're all, and it
Yeah.
just depends your type and your weight and everything. But I really love the Rink Rats as well too. Like I would not have any problem with any wheel. Like I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
But each one has its advantages and like what you like about it. And I just the wheel game's so hot right now.
What I think that Conix and Rinkrat do specifically really well is make like a harder wheel for the heavier guys. And I think they do that really well because they have their I think it's like a +2 for the Conix. I think they still go by that,
like
+1,
0
+2.
+1.
Yeah, 0 +1.
Yeah.
And I know with the rink rats, it's like X, double X, triple X, right? And I know that like a lot of the guys who are a little bigger in my leagues, they like the rink rat wheels because they have a really hard wheel that kind of fits that mold. So yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Wheels is kind of just evolved so much at this point. Like you said, you can't really go wrong with it.
Somebody said like back in the day, Mr. Stickies were better. And I'm like, dude, you don't even understand the technology then. Like
they were sick back in the day.
Yeah.
For wood, especially when
on wood floors.
Yeah. Elite. So dude, it's crazy because I have guys up here who played like on the wood floor nationals with ball hot, using ball and like USA roller, like USA inline. Like it was crazy to think about that now and how far it's come along.
It's nuts, dude. All right. Well, I think it's time to send it over to the pod. We'll be sending it over to Chucky Slick and Kevin Mooney.
Let's do it. Edition of the All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the RDN Roller Show, where we're bringing you the latest stories from roller hockey around the world. We're extremely excited today to not only have one, but two players on the pod today. Both players represent Club Molina in the Liga Elite and are absolute legends both on and off the floor. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Charles Baldwin and Kevin Mooney. Boys, how the hell is everything going over there in Spain?
Doing well, boys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're doing round two here. We just pre-recorded and then I forgot to hit record. So, the boys were kind of just telling us about the Africa Cup. We kind of can just pick up, from, about the Africa Cup. I know Chucky took over the account in December or November last year?
No, summertime. I think August.
August? Okay. So, yeah, like what was that tournament like out there and everything?
Yeah, like I was saying, it's pretty cool that they have roller hockey in, such a unique place like Namibia. They've done a pretty unreal job down there growing the game and developing different organizations down there. And I think currently they have like a league down there with like 4 or 5 teams in different areas throughout the country. And the Africa Cup is kind of like their NARCH or their State Wars. And it's just a really awesome tournament. For me personally, it's the most fun I've ever had at a roller hockey tournament just because it's so different, and one of the best parts about the tournament is the people there. The local Namibian people are just fucking beauties. Like they're so awesome and they just love to have a great time and they're so happy to have us there. So they make sure they take care of you and show you the best time possible.
And that rink's like a kind of like all-in-one, right? Like you have like the hotel connected to the rink and there's like a bar and restaurant there too.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of convention center type deal. There's a hotel attached to the rink. There's like 2 or 3 bars in the rink. So it's really cool. It's kind of like, for me, it reminded me of a Irvine NARCH event, but you have bars inside the rink as well. So after the games, instead of going to the lot, you can just hang out in the rink. They got cheap beers, cheap drinks. Everyone hangs out. The parents, the kids, even the little kids will hang out. And then a lot of the parents will take their little kids home, put them to sleep, and even come back to the bars later to hang out with all the boys. So it's pretty sick.
I feel like that's what parents do. Like when you're a kid playing these tournaments, you're playing like knee hockey in the hallways. Then you go to bed and you're always wondering where your parents go. Now we know, right? They're going back out to the bars, boozing it up with the older crowd or whatever it may be. So it's awesome. Yeah. And then you guys talked about kind of the experience away from the tournament too a little bit. We were touching on it. Like Chuck, I just looked at the Instagram. You were on like a rhino. Was that it? Like what's up with that? You like hopped on a rhino like it was a horse. It's crazy.
I mean, that wasn't one of my brightest ideas. I'll be honest, boys.
It's nuts.
The rhino actually like turned, and I thought it was gonna take off, but
So was there like you could just jump on the rhino, or is there someone like helping you, like a keeper?
well, like a
There's a
guy
word
like
there.
held his hand out so I could like jump off his hand and jump on the rhino. But the rhinos are absolutely wild rhinos. We were not at a zoo or anything like that. One of Dave Hammond's buddies owns like this huge piece of land, like ranch style, like just never ending land, and wild animals of Namibia roam the land. But they've converted this land into kind of like a not a resort, but it's just like a hotel kind of thing where there's like, a couple bungalows, and it's kind of like one of their hustles, Dave's friend. And, obviously you're going to stay there. You want to see some animals. So they take you out on like game tours, they in this like big 4x4 Jeep. And you just kind of go deep, deep, deep into the Namibian countryside. And we saw giraffes and monkeys and gazelles and antelopes and all kinds of crazy animals. And a few of the animals, not any of the ones I named, but a few of the animals are aware that there is like a house situation here and that the people have food. And so they leave food out for the rhinos to like attract them there for people to see them.
Oh,
Wow.
So we were outside chilling, and the rhinos just started pulling up, and then they were like, "Do you want to jump on top and take a picture?" And I was like, "Absolutely."
Like, I don't even touch like dogs that I don't know. You know what I mean? You're just hopping on a rhino, just like riding it like it's nothing. That's crazy. And then he was like even chewing on some grass there. So there you go. He was
Yeah, it was
really
really cool.
indulged in it.
When you guys were like doing that, were you like, I don't know, like scared at all? Like something's gonna like just, for me, if I was just going, I feel like a tiger or whatever like would just come out of nowhere. But I think that's just, I don't know. Like, were you guys scared at all when you're on that tour?
What, like driving through the desert, you mean?
Yeah, like you just never
Yeah.
know what could happen, or like if a rhino just turns around and just messes up your like Jeep or anything, or you guys are just not even enjoying the moment?
No, I'm just enjoying the moment. I didn't really think about that too much. I mean,
Dude,
Yeah,
tell
there's-
them about the little kid
when we went hunting,
when he went on a Jeep and he cut off.
dude, they're just a different breed out there. I mean, for them, it's nothing. So, like, for them, when the rhinos come up, they're, like Chuck said, they're asking us, like, hey, you want to take a picture with it? We're like, no, fuck that. Don't be a pussy. Like, we all do it. So,
Yeah.
it's so, like, normal for them. And then one of the days I went hunting with the family that owns that farm. They have a little kid. He's like 6 years old. And he came out hunting with us. He was like one of my biggest fans. He saw me at Africa Cup the first year. And he's like, yeah.
Oh, so he's like at the
No.
rink too. These are people from the rink as well too.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
hockey.
that's insane.
So his whole thing was like, I want to take Kevin hunting and show him how to hunt because, yeah, whatever, he's my fan or whatever. So I went out with him and his dad and then a couple others. And I've never been hunting. I don't know how this shit works. We go and then we pull up to a pack of animals. What are they? Like antelope type animals. And so they're like, all right, Kevin, you ready to shoot it? I'm like, no, I'm not ready to shoot it. What do you mean? How do I hold the gun? How do I shoot it? So they're like, this other kid, Brent, is like, okay, I'll go first. So he goes hunting all the time. He loads the gun, shoots one of the animals. And then Brent is actually Canadian. So it was his first time out there with me as well. And then the rest of them are all local Namibians. But Brent shoots the animal. Basically, we get out of the car, we walk over to it. And then right away, before like I even get to the animal, the little kid is already over the animal. And he cuts the ball sack off the animal and he's holding it up in our faces. And he's like, here you go, Brent, you got to eat this. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you got to eat it. Your first kill, you got to eat the ball sack.
Dude, 6-year-old?
Yeah.
6-year-old.
Dude,
savage.
He sliced it off like it was nothing to him.
Yeah,
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
How many
That's
ball
different
sacks has he
lifestyle.
cut off? That's insane.
Yeah,
He's
it's
like-
their tradition. And I guess you eat the ball sack and then they like,
Wait, that's like
Ball?
he's not like
Ball.
fucking with you. That's
Ball?
like a thing you do.
Dude, no, it's 100% an actual thing they do. I thought he was fucking with us also. It's 100% a thing they do. You eat one of the testicles or something raw,
Okay.
and then they cut the animal because then you tie it to the car and you got to drive it back. So they cut the animal and like let all the, I don't know, blood and some of the guts spew out of it as you're driving it back or continuing your trip hunting more. And they take the stomach
It's turned
out,
into a Joe Rogan
and
podcast.
then you put
Yeah,
the stomach on your head like it's a hat. That's their other tradition. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting near
This
that.
is you got a couple kids from like Southern California. This is like got to be mind boggling. Like,
So what did you do? Did you eat the ball sack?
I was not touching that.
Nah, he didn't do that. He just licked it.
Okay. Yeah.
Moon's like, I'm vegan. I'm not touching. I can't eat that. I'm done.
Oh man. That's
That's
that's crazy. So
That's way more than we expected.
But it was,
the
other than
African
that,
Cup.
like the meat, the quality of the meat was incredible. Like these guys would, skin it, and within a couple hours it'd be on the grill and dinner was served, and it was some of the best meat I ever had in my life. That's what they're famous for in Namibia. They get down on the barbecue. Don't call it a barbecue though. They're called a braai, or they'll get mad at you.
is
And,
that what is it like a
it's
saucy
incredible.
type?
It's just wild game and just very healthy animals, and I don't know. They're like masters at that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All wood fire barbecues, right? That's a bride.
Yeah, and we would have barbecues at the rink pretty much after every game. So about 10 o'clock at night, we just grill up all this meat. The beers were flowing, and the whole tournament would be in this one room in the rink. Just unlimited beers, unlimited wild meats, and it's super fun tournament.
That's a straight party.
So you like, compare that to like the United States kind of tournaments. It's way more like enjoyable, just more of like, I guess, more of a gathering. I feel like here you kind of just stay with your team and you go do your own thing and that's it. And you don't even, but it sounds like there you're kind of like hanging out with everyone and you're at the rink.
Yeah, dude, exactly. It's a huge community, and they're so welcoming, especially to Chuck and myself and any other foreigners that make their way out there. I think they understand that how far away it is, how secluded they are, and the once or twice a year that they get to hold these events and have like new faces and new people come in, they get so excited, and they like make it their mission to make sure you guys feel comfortable, give you everything you need. It's awesome.
That's sick.
You guys get like the white glove treatment out there for sure, and it's. I mean,
they treat you so well out there. It's definitely. I felt more welcome out there than I ever did at like any tournament in the States. you walk into the rink with your team, but like you see other guys like eyeing you and shit. Like you're like,
yeah. You got the tournament director and be like, pay me now, and you're like, dude, like I just got here. But yeah, it's so. Last thing about the Africa Cup. The funniest video I saw was when you had your skates on and you were in the bus and you were just like videotaping your skates, and then I think it was like the desert. How far is the trip from the airport to the rink?
It depends which airport you land in. Most people fly into Windhoek, which is the capital city of Namibia.
Okay.
And that's 4 hours down to the coast where the rink is, or maybe 3 hours.
At least 4.
It's a ways. I was supposed to fly into Windhoek, but 2 hours before we landed, I was watching my little like map thing on the plane, and I just saw our plane like going the opposite way, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" They were just like, "Yeah, there's a strike at the airport. We're gonna go to South Africa, Johannesburg." I was already 1 day late because I missed my plane the day before, so I was already off the tournament 1 day late, and I landed in South Africa. And I was like, when's the next flight to Namibia? And they just couldn't tell me anything. They got me a hotel in the middle of like one of the most dangerous cities in the world. I'm just chilling in Johannesburg. And there's no light at the end of the tunnel. So basically I have to buy a private flight flying into a small airport called Walvis Bay, which is like 30 minutes from the rink. And so I dropped like $400 on like a little tiny plane flight and landed 30 minutes next to the rink, and then they picked me up, and when she picked me up, she's like, your team's on the rink right now. It was Dave Hammond's wife. And that's why I got dressed in the car and had my skates on in the car.
That's hilarious.
Through the desert dunes, and it was so crazy.
So when you were in that dangerous city, like you had all your gear and stuff, I assume, right? Or did that get sent like separately?
Yeah, you should have had this gear, right?
No, I didn't bring any gear to Africa Cup. I just pulled up and was hoping I could scrap together some stuff.
I mean,
Seriously?
No, seriously, yeah.
Hell yeah.
if anybody could do it, it's you. So
Yeah, if
that
anyone
doesn't
could
shock
pull that
me in the
off, it's for
slightest,
sure
dude.
you.
That does
I mean,
not
I didn't
shock me in
want
the
to like,
slightest.
because you have to take so many connecting flights, and I was like, I don't want to check bags in case something happens. Because when you are switching between countries, you gotta leave the whole airport and security, get your
Come
bag,
back
bring
in.
it back in. And some of my flight connections were too close to like risk it, and I was like, you know what, like my brother Eric was living down there and coaching in Namibia, so he had some like an extra helmet and gloves. I borrowed some skates from a guy, and I honestly won't do that again though because I was very uncomfortable and I played very.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if anybody could pull it off, though, I feel like you could because I know that you're kind of a free flowing guy, right? You can just do whatever you want. I remember when we went to Italy, like you had your mixing equipment for like making songs there too. So like you got it all going on, man. So that's awesome. I mean, those stories are unreal. I didn't think we were going that deep and wide into it, but that was unbelievable. So switching things over to kind of what you guys are doing now with your life in Spain. Chuck, you've lived there for quite some time now. Like, what prompted you to stay there? And like, is there something that you're just like, you know what, I can't leave this place. I want to live here full time.
well, I mean, first and foremost, obviously, love the game of roller hockey, and if I can have the ability to play it year round, then why not? Back home, obviously, you're waiting around a lot for tournaments to happen, whereas out here, I can play year round. And I mean, that's only one side of the story, and the other side is obviously living here on the island. It's very similar to California weather and California lifestyle, so I don't feel too far from home. Or like, for example, when I was playing ice hockey, like in Sweden, for example, I never saw the sun and I got depressed really quickly. So I don't have those feelings out here. And I think Spain is just a great country and the league is a good league. And I have the ability to play hockey all the time. So I think that's one of the things that has kept me out here for so long.
And the people are like unbelievable there, right?
The people are
like the nicest people.
Oh, they're great people. And, the women out here are great. The people are great. The food is great. Like, it's a really good lifestyle here in Spain. And if I can make a living doing what I love, and I think being on our team helps a lot as well. Being on a contending team as one of the best teams in Europe, every year you have a shot to be the top dog in Europe. I think definitely, gives you something worth fighting for.
Mooney, how did you end up in Molina, and were you guys friends before like moving out there, or did you guys know of each other?
Who, me and Chuck?
Yeah.
No, not so much. We knew of each other. I mean, we had hung out. I first came to Spain. I went to Madrid, Tres Cantos.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So then that year I played against Chuck. He was back in Mallorca, I think still. Hung out with him once or twice then. And then you were in Molina for a year when I was still in Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the following year, that was the COVID year. So kind of, I was only out there for a couple months. And then decided, I want to do a full season. I'll come back. So I went back to Madrid to do one full year. And then Chuck came from Mallorca over to Molina, switched islands, and then played against them that year. And yeah, we hung out a couple more times. And then after that year in Madrid, for me, I was like, fuck, that was so fun. I love it, but I want to try a different place. I want to get outside of Madrid. It was cool to live the city life for a little bit, but I missed the beach, and that's the big thing. Beach and the weather for me.
California.
So I was like, where do I go? Started going down the list, and it was, I don't know, maybe Barcelona, maybe Mallorca. Those places have the beach also, but the weather down here in Canary Islands is unbeatable. Like Mallorca, Barcelona, those areas, they still have cold ass winters and yeah, not the best weather year round. And then down here, it's, just perfect. So that's how I ended up here. I wanted to come here, and then luckily Chuck stayed here and a couple other guys stayed here. They had a good team, and then yeah, just been rolling since then.
So quick question for you, because I think this is good for, people who are interested in going overseas and playing. Like, how did you get linked up with the club then? Did someone reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Like you said, you had previously played there, so they knew who you were probably more than just like someone who's, over here in the States, right? So how did that all go down?
Yeah, for me, I got lucky. When I first came to Spain, they reached out to me. The coach of the team in Madrid reached out to me, and I was thinking it's kind of a weird coincidence, but I was already looking into studying abroad, finishing school somewhere abroad, and Madrid was one of the places I was looking. Randomly, coach from a team in Madrid messaged me around that same time, so that was like a no-brainer for me. So I got to, in my eyes, it was like, well, if I can study abroad, finish school, and play roller, then I have nothing to lose, right? Even if the hockey's not great, I knew nothing about the team, very little about the league. But even if the hockey sucked, I was still going to finish school and, wasn't going to sweat it. Luckily, that turned into a great experience. And then that's kind of how I got stuck out here. So that's how I started in Spain. But then when I switched teams, I reached out to the owner of this team, messaged him, and I think that's typically what most people do. If someone doesn't reach out to you,
You're just your own agent and roller at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys, now that you guys like have played over there, I mean, you've played over there for what, almost 10 years, I feel like, Chucky?
I've been in Europe since 2013.
Damn, yeah, almost 10 years.
Spot on. Good shit,
Do
Rob.
you guys have other teams that reach out to you or like other leagues that have reached out to you, be like, hey, to come play with you guys now that you're over there consistently?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think depending on the player, it's obviously you're going to have, different teams reaching out to you in the summertime. But I think I could speak for me and Kevin personally, with the success that we've had here in Molina Sport. In the summertime, it's quite normal to get approached by clubs in France and Italy, offering contracts and whatnot to come over there for the following season. So, out here, I think for any player that's looking to come out here, if you come out here and have a good season, you can open up, quite a few doors for yourself because there's not too many, foreign players from North America coming over here to Europe. And a lot of European teams are always looking to add like one or two North American players. So there's a lot of opportunity out here to play. Just a matter of getting in touch with the right people. And I've seen so many guys come out here and be nobodies, guys that are, great players back home, but they come out here and just, fuck off or don't take it seriously or whatever. They just don't fit into the style of play and they can't really figure it out here and it doesn't work out for them. But I think if you come out here and you play hard, you can open some doors for yourself and have a long career overseas.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about all the time is how hard they train over there. Like it's all the European teams, I think in general, like running, a mile before the game, team workouts before the game and stuff like that. When you do like the world events, like Kev, we saw that, right? We're playing two touch for like an hour and a half and like doing like plyometrics behind us. We're like, man, we're off somewhere, right? But like if you could pick anywhere else to play, right? Not saying you guys will, obviously, but if you could pick either the France or Italian league, like would you prefer to go to one or the other? Is Spain like the creme de la creme?
That's a good question. But yeah, I mean, first going off what you said, they do work hard out here. That's like why some people I think can't adjust to the style of play. It's different. They might not be as skilled or as smart as some of the players back home, but they're going to work hard and they're going to grind. And yeah, you got to battle sometimes. But yeah, that being said, for me, I don't know. I've thought about going to France and Italy. Both countries have their pros and cons. I think Italy I would prefer to live there more. I would prefer the lifestyle more, but the hockey in France is definitely better from what I've heard and from what I've seen.
Yes.
Italy seems to be a few years behind. Some of the rinks aren't great out there. Some of them have really, really bad floors, and we don't have that problem in Spain at all. I think in Spain it's requirement to have steel mat or at least sport court, something like that. In France, I think it's the same, and then in Italy, I don't know if they have that. So, and then the Italian league just isn't as competitive. Also, there's like 2, maybe 3 teams that are battling, and after that, it's a huge drop off, and like teams are getting blown out. You know, it's kind of like that in the Spanish league too, though.
But not as big of a drop off.
Exactly, not to that extent.
And this is the first year that that's been an issue. Usually, like the last 5 or 6 years here in Spain, there's like 4 or 5 like teams where it's kind of a mixed bag. You never know what you're gonna get. But this year is the first year where it's kind of like there's us and Valladolid, and there's 2 or 3 more teams that are like they're good teams, but this year is the first year I've noticed a significant change. But the Italian league, from what I've seen teams pumping teams like 25-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, kind of talking about your current season, you guys just played in the Copa del Rey. I hope I'm saying that right. A couple weeks ago. What was that tournament like? Is it? It seems like it's ultra competitive. The crowd, the fans seem like they're really into it as well. You guys had a sick little celly and everything like that. So, tell us just about that tournament.
That's the Copa del Rey is like a very prestigious tournament here in Spain. I know it's hard to comprehend from like a North American sports perspective, but it's like a mid-season tournament. Wasn't the NHL like talking about doing something like that?
Yeah, I think the
NBA
did
did it. The
The
NBA did do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's in all European sports outside of hockey, all sports, they do like this mid-season tournament. In Spain, it's called the Copa del Rey, and it's like a tournament which literally translates to King's Cup. So historically, it was a tournament for the king and queen and the royal family of Spain, I guess, for their own entertainment, something like that. Some big, like, prestigious Spanish national tournament. And for whatever reason, it's like a huge fucking deal. You know, it's like televised nationally. Doesn't matter if it's badminton or football or roller hockey. Every professional sport in Spain has their own Copa del Rey, and it's televised, and it's like there's a lot of money involved and government and spawn. It's like a huge deal. So, yeah, we played that like a month ago, and it's always just really incredible energy and the quality of play and all the people there and the girls and there's like 4 girls teams and 4 guys teams, and so it's like the top 4 girls teams in Spain, top 4 guys teams after Christmas, and actually it was 6, right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah,
6 and 6. Sorry, so it's like 12 teams. There's a bunch of people there, and it's just like the whole atmosphere is pretty awesome, and
it's a big event.
It's almost bigger than like winning the actual league, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like
they set it up really cool. They have like they bring in TV networks. They'll like televise it and have a bunch of cameras there. They'll have different camera angles. It's like this year they did it in they built the rink just for that event. It's not like someone's stadium.
so sick.
Not a roller hockey league.
Yeah, it's not at Irvine.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into it and they take it pretty serious. It's kind of funny, but it's funny for us, like
Yeah.
But it's really cool and it's exciting because we play such a long season just for like the league, and it's such a slow season in my opinion. We play 1 game a week and it's stretched out over like 8 months, almost 9.
Crazy.
And it's like, why? So we play maybe 25, 30 games over the course of 9 months when you could get that done in a few weeks if we wanted to. But it's cool to have something like the Copa del Rey to, mix it up and bring some excitement mid-season.
Yeah, we have like 4 cups, out here in Spain and France and Italy. Like, we have the Super Cup, which is how you start the season, which is literally the finalist of the year before, and it's the people who are in playoffs the year before you do the Super Copa, and then you have the Copa del Rey, and then you have the European Cup, which is the battle of all the top teams in Europe, and then you have your League Cup. So there's 4 cups per season. You could see it as like, Narc State Wars tours and AAU or whatever, Give Blood, whatever you call it. still around?
I don't think so. I think
No.
they did it
I think they
last
brought
year.
it back last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Damn, I'm washed.
Yeah.
That tournament used to be sick though. I did love
I
that.
heard Euro Cup's
Yeah,
supposed to be in like Slovakia this year, right?
Yes, sir. They just announced it.
Yeah. So with, I think the Spain league, the France league, Italy kind of, but they take it super serious and it like really shows too. And I think it's sick. Like if you're going to move over to another country, get paid, like you should get, these type of things. Like you guys are getting interviewed. Like I've seen you guys were in, I think it was like the soccer stadium when you guys won like the League Cup as well too, like presenting it. Do you guys enjoy that? Like, do you guys think it's kind of like corny, or you're like, I think it's cool as shit. Like, but what do you guys think of that?
The soccer thing's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely after you win a cup, the club has to do like a media run, because out here in Spain, it's not a big sport, so there's not a lot of fans. So the money that funds everything comes from government. Government puts a lot of money into sports in Spain, especially here in the Canary Islands. But it also depends if you're winning or not. If you're winning and doing well, you can get more and more money from the government every year. Versus if you're losing, it's very hard to get out of that hole. So when you win, you really got to go on this media run and doing all the TV and radio interviews and stuff to kind of show the community and show the government and stay fresh in everyone's minds that you're a winning team, and it helps get sponsorships and money from the government. So we have to do a lot of things like that I would say a lot of us aren't really happy to do. But then again, there is a lot of cool things. And I do agree with you that going to the soccer stadium, because you know how soccer is out here in Europe, it's religion, man.
Yeah.
So when we win one of these cups, they, we go out and do it's kind of like the ceremonial puck drop kind of thing. We go out there and do the ceremonial kickoff. And yeah, you're stepping out in front of your city, man. Like we live here in Las Palmas, and you're stepping out in front of a huge stadium and getting some recognition, and you get to hang out in a little VIP box and drink wine and eat cheese, and that's always
pretty cool to me, man.
Yeah, sounds.
I mean, it gives it a level of professionalism too, and as much as probably all hockey guys are I don't want to do an interview, or I don't want to do a promotion or some sort. At the end of the day, if it's helping you guys stay out there and helping your club in general, then it's definitely worth it, right? At the end of the day. So you said obviously roller hockey is not the premier thing out there, as they call football, but soccer's the biggest thing out there. I mean, it's got to put more eyes on you guys. And if you get those guys to a game, or get those fans to a game, hopefully they get drawn to hockey, right? And you can help grow the youth aspect of it and all that stuff too. So do you guys have a lot of involvement with the youth roller hockey in that area?
Yeah, the problem with us out here is the island is so small. Our youth program is not very big at all. When I was in Madrid, it was, I don't even know how many kids, hundreds of kids of all ages. They had every division as they do back home, 6U, 8U, 10U, all the way up. And they had a team for each age division, in Madrid. But out here, we don't really have that. There's maybe how many kids in our youth program? 20, 30 kids that we get out there. We have 2, maybe 3 age groups that we divide them up into. And that's all we have out here. But it's a tiny little island,
Yeah. Yeah, a little more specific to that. So kind of shifting back to your league in general. So who would you guys say, and you might have different answers on this, which I hope, but who's your biggest rival in the league?
Oh, we have the same answer, buddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was gonna say
there must be some bad blood.
Yeah,
we played
in every cup,
I think every cup except one out of the last however many we've won. So yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed we're gonna see them at some point, whether it's the league or Copa del Rey. Yeah, we're gonna see them in the finals pretty much.
It's pretty much every cup, whether it's Super Copa, Copa del Rey, or the league. It's pretty obvious that it's going to be Valladolid. I think once in the last, me and Kevin have been together for 3 years on this team. I think in one of the cups we played Bryce Panthos in the final because they upset Valladolid. But other than that, yeah, it's Valladolid is our rivals. They're a good team.
And what does it make it like? I guess like the rival is it just like you guys are consistent, always playing them, so it just becomes like more of like it's the only team you're gonna see, or did you guys? Is there any bad blood between you guys?
I mean, they have the best local Spanish players in the league. So they're always just a great team. So when they add one or two foreign players on top of that, they're already guaranteed to be, one of the top dogs. Even before I was here in Molina, I played 3 seasons in Mallorca, and every single final and cup that I went to Mallorca, we played against Valladolid. Valladolid has been a powerhouse in this league for more than 10 years because they do an excellent job with their youth programs and developing players and developing talent. So I'd say, yeah, they're always going to be our main rival as of now.
We do have a few of their players now, though. Actually, we picked up, what do we have, 2? No, we have 3. 2 players and a goalie from that you grew up in Valladolid, played for them for quite some time, and then made the jump over. So I guess there's maybe a little bit of bad blood there, but
Okay. What made the jump? Did they just more competition or?
just I think they're older now. They've played, in their hometown their whole lives, and they have opportunity to make a little bit of money on another good team elsewhere. And might as well take advantage while they can.
Is there one player on your team or one player in the league that like stands out that probably doesn't get a lot of recognition or like shine that like they maybe deserve to?
Damn, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
And you can just like pick your team too if you guys want. Like, I know because the one thing I see about like the Spain league too with your team, you guys have like a really like close like group too, like with the Molina team, and there's talent, like hidden talent on a lot of teams. So I always see them like. So I didn't know if there's one player that kind of stands out to you on your team or on another team.
My sneaky pick would be this kid that's actually on our line right now. His name's Edu.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
He's from Mallorca. He's a small little defenseman, but he's sneaky good. And over the last few years, I've seen him get a lot better. I love playing with him. He still surprises me, and I know he surprises everyone across the league. So it's fun to play with him, man. But that's my pick.
Okay.
Yeah, Edu's really good. He has a brother, Mickey, and they're both 2 brothers from Mallorca.
Okay.
Mickey's really good as well. And then there's another Mallorcan on our team, Andreu, and he's really good as well. He's one of the best 2-way players in the league. He kind of has a little bit of everything. I think he scored a hat trick in the European Cup final last year against the team in France. Like he's a good player. He shows up in big moments. I think Mickey had a hat trick in the semifinal in the Copa del Rey this year. So you can go up and down our whole roster, and I know a lot of people will see our roster and see like, oh, you got Mooney and Baldwin as the California guys, like, the import guys, but like we're so much more than that. We have, and then bottom to top, we have these 3 guys from Mallorca, and then we have these guys from Valladolid, and everyone on our one of the guys from Valladolid scored 2 goals in the final of the Copa del Rey this year, including the overtime goal.
Huge.
So honestly, in my opinion, every single player on our team is sneaky good. Like maybe if you're just watching, you won't notice it, but each player on our team contributes like big goals throughout the season. And I think that's why we're such a good team. Throughout the league, I wouldn't really know like who is sneaky good. There's some players that have stood out to me, but I don't really know anyone's names.
I was gonna say I feel like a couple of the Spanish goalies are really good too. They're usually like gigantic for some reason, but I feel like
the nets are also small, so it's kind of hard to like
small
judge.
too. So it is hard to judge, but that's what they play with over there, right? So I feel like there are a couple good goalies as well in the league. And I was looking at just kind of the stats from your team. It's actually pretty balanced. Like obviously you 2 are kind of taking the cake with your points, 45 and 50 points, but under that you got like 25 points, 20 points, 19 points. It seems like you said you have that team mentality, which is probably leading to the success that you guys have, but it seems pretty balanced, quite honestly, throughout your entire lineup, which is cool to see that it's not just you two carrying all the weight all the time. You are carrying a lot of it, but like you said, there's guys that are jumping in, getting game winning goals, getting go ahead goals, getting big saves, whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's what you need too to win. I mean, you guys know how it is back home. Everyone knows the best players on every team, and when it's an important game, like the other team's defense is to match up against you. So a lot of times it's the deeper teams that have more players that can help support us in those big moments that are going to end up winning.
When you guys go to like travel to different cities, you guys have to fly out, correct? Because you're on the island. Do you guys usually just come back right away, or do you guys have time to like actually hang out at the other the other locations for a while?
We usually get one night in the other locations. We'll fly out. Games will be Saturday evenings typically. We'll fly out Saturday morning.
Okay.
And get there, have the day to chill out, eat some food, and rest in the hotel, and then we'll go play a game. And then if you're feeling up for it, go out for a night out of the town.
Where's your favorite place to go? Like which city?
Man, you ask great questions.
We're
I don't know. What would you say?
going to Mallorca this weekend. That's one of the best.
We're going
Yeah, I
to
heard Mallorca is insane.
Other island, one of the other island teams. I would say my favorite place is honestly Mallorca or Tenerife. Tenerife is the other Canary Island team. That's where my two brothers live. And I mean, obviously, just the islands carry that different energy where it's a little more fun to, go out. And
it also, like a big factor, Barcelona is a really fun city to go out, but a big factor is how far from like city center, downtown Barcelona, the rinks are, right?
True.
Okay.
So like most of the teams in Barcelona are, 30 plus minutes away from the city center.
It's kind of tough to get out there.
Yeah, we stay like in the airport hotels a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna stay close to the airport or close to the rink. So if we need to take, and we have to play a game first, and then by the time we get out of the rink, it's already late, 10:30 p.m.
We have dinner with the team, like it's pretty mandatory. So by the time we're free, it's like 11:30, and then sometimes like we don't even have the owner won't give us the keys to the rental car, so we have to take taxis to the city center, and it's like it just depends.
Probably a safe bet though, right? If you are going to go out, not giving new keys to the rental, it could be a disaster waiting to happen.
We always send the rookies to ask him for the keys, and he just rips them apart.
That's hilarious.
There you go. Smart.
So weekend we were in or 2 weeks ago we were in Tenerife, and they had their it's called Carnival. It's like it's a huge party on the island. Like tons of people from all over the world fly there, and we just happened to be playing there on that night. And so after the game, we all went up to the north side of the island, which is like an hour drive. Went up there, and our backup goalie, he was the designated driver. And on the way back, there was a checkpoint.
And I assume he was not designated.
Luckily, he didn't have a sip of alcohol the whole night. He's not a big drinker normally, but he knew he was driving, and it's the busiest weekend of the year, so he didn't have a sip of alcohol. And of course, you go through the checkpoint, and they either wave you past or they wave you to the right to look further into it. And so as soon as we pull up, we have like a big Sprinter van, 9 people deep, and right away, they wave us to the investigation area.
Oh boy!
And so we cruise over there, and the sheriff comes up and gives him breathalyzer or whatever. He blows into it, and then right after, the guy looks at it, 0-0. All right, waves him on, and then all the boys just start going crazy. Yeah, let's fucking go!
Hell yeah!
Everyone stops, and all the police are looking at us, and the kid driving, he's like, what, 18 years old?
Yeah.
He's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
He's probably bugging out, dude.
It's so funny.
It's like the scene in Super Troopers where they get pulled over. I could just imagine that times like 10 dudes in the back of the car. So
yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, roller hockey teams are getting pulled over 10 times out of 10.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what's it like having your 2 other brothers playing over there as well too, Chucky. Do you guys get to meet up a lot, or is it pretty cool being, I guess, kind of closer to them?
Yeah, it's really cool, man. It's a fucking blessing, to be honest. I always want to be close to my brothers, and I spent so many years over here, very far away from them. So to have them like on the island right next to me, it's awesome. Whenever we have free weekends, like we try to meet up. It's just like a 30-minute flight or like a 1 hour boat ride. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty sick. And and what team was it again? They play for it's the Gonchos, but what town?
Yeah, the Arona Guanches.
Guanches. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
And
Spanish accents up to date here.
yeah, how long did it take you to like learn Spanish? Like, you're actually really good at Spanish.
Man, I've been out here 7 years, so
Better be.
Yeah, Mooney, what's your Spanish like?
Fuck, dude. Yeah. I wish I was on.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah, dude.
Mooney understands everything. He just has to get his speaking level up.
It's difficult, man.
It's a very hard language.
I never knew that I was going to be out here for, I think this is my 4.5 years now. So every year is like, well, I'm going to be out here for a year. There's no point in taking a class now. I'm going to go back home next year. And then here I am. I wish I just took a year or two when I first got out here and I would be speaking by now. But
Dude, it's hard.
You and Siggy were like the only two who spoke Spanish when we were in Argentina. And I know it's different, like dialect and stuff, but like you guys got us by. So, I mean, credit there.
You and who?
Sigmund.
Oh, it's
Siggy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like Chuck said, I can understand. I can obviously get by, I got to go out and function day to day and speak with people, but it's difficult, man. It's difficult to just converse normally, or if I'm part of a conversation, I can pick up and understand majority of it. But if I'm walking into the middle of a conversation and I have no idea what's going on, and some locals are just firing back and forth, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I thought I knew Spanish.
Yeah.
Accent. You're
Kind of humbles you really quickly.
It's easier to understand Spanish in like Madrid and up in the mainland, but down here they have like a really crazy, almost like Latino American accent, and they speak very fast. So it's a bit more difficult to understand down here. Rob, don't you have
Yep. Got a girlfriend from Mexico. She was now. But yeah, I go back to Mexico and I'm like a fish out of water. I'm just like you, Mooney. Like, I have no idea what's going on.
is she teaching you a little bit of Spanish?
She did. She tries to on Sundays. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna speak to you in Spanish. Just doesn't work though, because I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's going on here. So
Rob will call me. He's in Mexico. Be like, I just need to hear English for like 5 minutes. Just talk to me about something. Like,
yeah, but her family they'll help me with Spanish. Like, her brothers help me more than she does. So it's it's all good. But it is.
Where's she from in Mexico?
Chihuahua. So she's from Cuauhtemoc. Cuauhtemoc.
Is that area cool?
Her town is. It's actually really cool. So like Chihuahua, like the city center, like the downtown, it's super fun. Her town's like it's like a farm town kind of. It's pretty small, but it's really cool. They have a whole bunch of Mennonites. Do you know what the Mennonitos are?
I think I learned about that in high school.
Yeah, so they're like Amish people. Well, they're the Amish basically, right. But they're all from Germany. So in World War I or II, a whole bunch of Germans came over to Mexico and went to different places and basically just set up. And Mexico, I think they like bought the land from her or something, but they've been there for like 50.
Where? In Chihuahua.
Yeah, in Chihuahua. So they make cheese and they have like apple trees, and they just are like the richest people in that area.
This is gonna be a horrible question. This is a bad question, but is there like a lot of Chihuahuas there, the dogs?
Dude, I didn't see anyone else. There's so many random like.
That's where they come from, I guess. That's what I heard. So I was just wondering if they were like all over the streets.
No, but there's a whole bunch of dogs all over the streets, but they're not like small dogs. They're a whole bunch of like, I don't know, just mutts. But that is
the facade.
Yeah, it's kind of facade. That's hilarious. No, I didn't see any Chihuahuas, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
So you guys were met, like we got one epic question here left here, and I wanted to get this out here. So obviously when you guys were at the Copa del Rey, we heard about a little incident at the on the airplane. Are you guys able to kind of share any details on that, or can we not get into it? Can we get into it? Can you give us, something?
Oh, is lawyer Mooney not allowed to say anything?
No, I mean, I could tell you guys what happened. I'm not going to get into too much detail.
Yeah. You just tell us like the overview of what
High
happened.
level. Yeah, high level.
No one understood like the seriousness of it until afterwards or even now. But yeah, basically, so we won the Copa. I mean, like we said, it's a huge event and we were fired up to win it, obviously. It was the one tournament that we didn't win last year. So for us, like going into that thing, we were looking so forward to it and we won. And then the tournament was in the city called Zamora, which is like northeastern Spain, kind of near Portugal, I guess. And we flew into Madrid to get there. So Madrid to Zamora is like, 2.5, maybe 3 hours. So after the tournament, we drove back to Madrid. Boys are fired up, shooting the shit, having a few cold ones on the road. Obviously, by the time we get to the airport, we're already feeling it, having fun. And then, I get to the airport. But, I mean, dude, we were having fun. We were celebrating, but no one was wasted. That's the crazy, like, no one, not one.
Yeah, you're just being loud and just you just won, the biggest championship for your,
Not one person, in my opinion, was being like stupid, drunk, wasted. Not even close to it. Exactly like you said, just having fun, being a little loud. And but yeah, anyways, I got to the airport and then so we're like, well, we have a 3-hour flight back to the island now. We're gonna party tonight. Where are we gonna go tonight? Everyone's throwing their ideas out there. So plan is fly back and then we're gonna go to a local club around here. And then, we're like, let's, continue the party on the plane. So going through the airport, a couple of the boys had a bright idea to stop in duty free and pick up a few bottles.
Nah, going through the airport, Kevin threw a fucking water bottle at my head.
You're just tiptoeing around this story.
Yeah, Chucky from fucking the top ropes.
Remember, I kicked you in the balls.
That was not Copa.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you're more soft than you think.
Forget about that. Anyways, dude, I don't know. We got on the plane. So long story short, we got onto the plane. We had some alcohol with us. Got on the plane. Right away, we came on with the cup. We're all dressed in our team gear, obviously being loud. Right away, they told us, like, hey, you guys need to settle down. Okay, sure, whatever. So we sit down. There's basically half of the team in the front of the plane, very front of the plane, like business class. If it's even, I don't even know if they have business class on these flights. And then, but like the front section, and then 2 rows of the boys, and then the other half are in the very back.
It ain't no Delta Lounge.
Yeah. The Mooney Sky Lounge, as I call it.
Basically, the boys knew that the ones in the back were, kind of the more mellow ones, going to go probably sleep the rest of the flight. So the ones that wanted to hang out and talk and have a couple of drinks stayed in the front of the plane. And then, we took off, started pouring some drinks, and then right away, the lady behind one of those rows right there, she starts ringing the flight attendant right away.
Oh, boy.
Karen. Yeah, this chick. So then the flight attendant comes back, tells us we need to shut up. Okay. So we quiet down for a few minutes and then I don't know. And then what I remember is after that, a few minutes later, the president who was in the back of the plane, he got called up to the front. The flight attendants called him up to the front and I guess he spoke with the captain and the captain said, hey, you need to tell your team to quiet down or we're going to stop the plane. The flight attendants can't put up with this. They're being too rowdy. They're causing problems with other passengers because the lady behind us was upset. And so he came back and he told us, and then we thought we quieted down a little bit. And then the next thing, dude, after that, after the president came and talked to us, the next thing we heard was the pilot on the loudspeaker saying, apologizing to the passengers, telling everyone that we're diverting the plane to Sevilla because we're being too rowdy. And
So you were in the air already.
Yeah, we were in the air for like 30 minutes.
Oh.
30 minutes, that's it. We had I don't even think I finished my drink. One drink. And dude, the crazy thing is, we've done this before. We fly to every game. Half the cups we've won, we've had a flight afterwards, and we've brought the cup on the plane, and we've done way worse. We've been on the plane not usually, but like sometimes the pilot goes on the loudspeaker and he congratulates us, and the whole plane is cheering, and we start like singing songs and shit, and we're being so rowdy. And this time it was just the exact opposite, where immediately as soon as we got on the plane, they were like, yeah, you guys need to zip it up or like you're out of here. And then, yeah, that's what happened, man. None of us, it was actually really, really crazy because, yeah, we got a couple warnings, but none of us believed that they were going to stop the plane, obviously. And we didn't do anything that rowdy. No one got out of their seats. No one was like running up and down the plane. We were just talking, laughing, drinking, having a good time.
You're celebrating. Yeah, you're just celebrating.
Next thing we knew, he was like, we're stopping the plane. I'm like, no way is this real. They take the plane down. Like, it was the fastest landing I've ever seen in my life. Like, my ears were going crazy. I'm like, holy shit, they're actually taking the plane down. And then we land, and like right away, guards come on the plane, and they're like, yep, these 2 rows, everyone out.
Holy shit.
No fucking way. I guess at first they said the whole team was out, but then some of the people protested kind of. I was right there in the middle of it, so like
you're not getting out of it. Yeah, you're fucked.
And walked out. A couple of the boys, and especially the guys in the back, were fighting it, and they were like, "What the hell? No way, we're getting off the plane." And then they ended up letting like half the team stay, and half of us were out, and that's pretty much it, dude. They threw us in a bus. They took our information down. They drove us to the terminal, and then they just dropped us off. And they were like, "Yeah, good luck getting home. That's it." We're like, "What?"
So did you guys have to drive or take another flight the next day, or?
Yeah, so then we were in Sevilla. We had to find flights. Luckily, flights are pretty cheap out here. We got flights. I think actually the next day it was like a few €100. So all the boys were like, fuck that. There's a flight the following day for €30. So we all took that one and then just spent a night or two in Sevilla, saw the city.
There you go.
So did you guys get to celebrate in the city then? Like on your last 2 nights, like those 2 nights there? I mean, I guess it's not totally bad, right?
It was a Sunday and Monday night, which kind of sucked. And like, yeah, there's not much going on. That's what we were looking forward to coming back home. At least we know the couple places that are open Sundays and Mondays back here on the island. But in a random city.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then like it all hit us the next day. And then, there were like, of course, when we win cups, dude, no one wants to talk about it. We get a little bit of publicity, if we go present the cup at the football game or whatever it is. But besides that, no one talks about it. And then as soon as something like this happens, fucking every news network in the whole country is like, oh yeah, can we interview you guys? Like, what happened? And so, yeah, that's when it kind of hit us. And then they started talking about, started hearing about like the consequences. If you take down a plane, it's like a very serious act, It's not
You
usually
take down a plane?
Yeah.
It's not usually taken down for a couple boys drinking on a plane. It's usually like terrorists or something very serious, I guess.
That's
Holy shit.
The consequences can be very serious also.
so. And you can answer this or not, but are you like having to do anything still for that, or is it kind of like now just in the past?
No,
Just
it's out of our hands, but we haven't been given an official
okay.
like or anything yet, and it's crazy, man. They say it can be up to like $90,000, $100,000 fine.
Holy shit.
Taking a plane. Well, hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, hopefully it's not the case, or else Molina's gonna have to start paying you guys a lot more money to be there. But
Yeah.
So the other terrible thing, in my opinion, is of course like everyone sees the news and shit. It's like, oh, professional hockey team takes down a plane or whatever you call it, and everyone thinks that, you know, professional sports team, they think football players, these guys that are making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
When, you know, we all know that it's not the case. So hopefully, you know, they don't think like, oh yeah, these guys, you know, they make shit ton of money and they deserve to pay whatever amount it may be. And hopefully, honestly, it turns into nothing. And hopefully, in my opinion, like the real story comes out, and I don't think the consequences should be that severe based on what actually happened. But yeah, the problem is like the airline obviously wants to defend their employees, and it probably looks bad for them if
they don't take action.
Yeah, exactly. That it was overreaction or something. So,
but yeah, it also costs the airline money. You know how much fuel is for an airplane just to land and take off again is a lot. Of money. So they're going to be seeking some kind of compensation.
It just seems crazy that like, because there's people who drink on the plane all the time, right? And even if you're a little bit loud, like
they duct tape people here in the United States and wrap them up, and then they say deal with it, and you get down there,
man, soft.
Exactly, right?
The pilot was just having a bad day. Actually, my mom, she visited here for the first time. She arrived about a week after the incident, and I explained her the whole incident. And my mom worked for American Airlines as a flight attendant for 35 years. And she told me in 35 years of working, she never heard of anything like that. She said, we just zip tie them to the arm bars and armrests if they're acting rowdy. She said, we never landed a plane. She said in her whole career, they landed like 2 planes. And it's always because there's a serious threat to people's like physical safety,
technical issues. Yeah.
But never were they landed for people like being too loud.
This is like a Spirit flight on a Wednesday, like that this happens. You know what I mean? Like this isn't anything uncommon.
Yeah, any Spirit flight to Cabo.
Know what I mean? That Vegas Spirit flight has way worse than this that happened. You got girls twerking, all sorts of crazy shit happened. So
all right, well, last thing before I let you guys go, I gotta know, what are you guys sipping on? What is that beer? Is that beer or is that Sprite? Because it's a green can.
Yeah, it looks like
some Sprites.
Yeah, right. We just love Sprite.
Yeah, okay.
Spanish Sprite.
What's it called? What's the beer called?
It's called Sprite Zero.
Oh, Sprite Zero.
All right, there you go. No free ads. I like it.
There you go. No free ads.
Awesome. Well, hey, boys, we appreciate you guys catching up with us here. It's awesome. I think you guys have painted like an unreal picture of what it's like to play hockey overseas. I mean, it's way more than we anticipated. Like the Africa Cup stories, what it's like living in Spain. Like you guys absolutely crushed it. So we do appreciate it. You know, obviously, best of luck in the season. Keep wheeling, and hope everything goes well with the whole other story. And like I said, best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, boys. We really appreciate you having us on, and thanks for keeping the world up to date with, everything that's going on out here and everything you guys do for the community. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, boys. We'll see you later.
See you, boys.